Welcome back to my channel, guys. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the Posca Paint Pens. And yeah, I'm gonna just start with getting all this plastic off, so I'll be right back. So the easiest way to get this plastic to come off is you just twist the cap and the pen opposite ways of each other, and then the plastic just sort of, breaks, and you take it off. It's a lot easier.
I have the Posca Paint Pens in the colors green, aqua green, light blue, coral pink, and of course white. And the tip of these markers just looks like a regular old bullet nib, and this is the medium size.
Alright, so to start these markers, first thing you have to do is shake them. The little ball inside mixes up the paint. And then you take the cap off, and you depress the tip, and of course I already started trying to use this one, so...
Because someone's smart and forgot to press record on her camera.
There's a nice swatch of the green. Alright, let's do the other one. So, shake. Shake, 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 shake. Right, cap off, put on the other end, press tip down until ink flows out, paint flows out. Oof. Juicy, juicy paint pens. Right.
According to the Posca website, these are water-based paint markers for all materials and all uses. They come in 59 colors, including 8 metallic, 6 fluorescent, and 8 glitter. They also have 8 different tips in 5 different shapes, so they have a soft brush tip, ideal for calligraphy and coloring. They also have a precise and calibrated tip that produces refined lines, a very fine tip that is ideal for small format creations, a universal bullet tip that adapts to all types of creations, a versatile bullet tip that has unlimited freedom of use, adapts to all types of creation. This is the bullet tip, the versatile bullet tip is the one that I'm using in this video. And the latest addition to the range is the very handy broad bullet tip. They also have a broad chisel tip that's perfect for tracing curves and covering large areas. And they have a rectangular extra large tip that's ideal for flat colors and backgrounds. Whew, that's quite a bit of options, Posca.
Well, definitely just spilled some of that paint. So, yeah, paint pens, these are definitely full of paint. So that's good. Alright, for this next test, I'm going to test them to see how they work with graphite and with colored pencil. So, grab my pencil, just gonna, yep, I don't actually normally have graphite that's this dark, but I just want to really test out these pens. Do a line, do a nice sort of smeared line. Alright, I think that's good. Let's test it with green. Alright, I don't see any smudging, there's nothing on the tip of this marker. Let's test it with white. Alright, it looks like there's a little bit here that isn't covered. Yeah, and the graphite gets a little bit on the tip of the white marker. So I would say if you have lighter colored paint markers, that graphite's probably going to get onto them, but it's really easy to clean off, so not a big deal. Next test is going to be with colored pencils, so I just picked out a light color and a dark color. Some orange. And purple. Okay. Just gonna test these ones out. So we'll go with this blue, or aqua green, I suppose. That goes over that so nicely. Let's try coral. Yep. Nothing on the tip of that. Cool. Alright, gotta try white again, you know? Oh. Yeah, colored pencil is definitely the way to go with this white marker. So, good measure, I'm just going to add this blue so it doesn't feel left out. Great! Alright, now let's get into some actual pieces to show you a little bit more how these can work in an illustration. Be right back!
There were a few ways that I wanted to test out these paint pens. So first I just kind of wanted to do a freehand sort of drawing, and one of the weird facts about me is I really like bees. But specifically, I like chonky bumblebees. Like a nice fat bumblebee, they're my favorite. I think they're the cutest. And when filming this, I had recently discovered there are things called blue bumblebees. Yep, they exist. They're fuzzy, they're blue, like a bright blue. They're adorable. Google them, they're beautiful. Honestly, it's the prettiest bee I've ever seen. Anyway, that's what I made for the first picture, was just a bunch of different colored bumblebees, and you can't really see it, but I used the white pen to make the little dashed outlines of where these bees have flown. And I know it doesn't look like they have wings because, well, I didn't draw them. To add in detail, since I didn't have a black Posca Paint Pen, I just used a Sharpie marker, which it was one of the fine liner markers and sort of scratched at the paint. So, you know, it's a good thing to learn. But overall, I think this piece is still pretty adorable, and I'm a big fan of it. The next one I wanted to do was sketch an outline of this, what I thought was sort of a cutesy idea. Some of you might think it's inappropriate, but that's okay. You're allowed to have a different opinion than me. And I know when I was going over what works better with these paint pens, is it pencil? Is it a colored pencil? I was pretty clear that colored pencil's the way to go. What did I do? I used graphite pencil. I'm not even listening to my own advice. I had just practiced what actually happens with graphite in these markers, but yep, still use graphite. Apparently I'm a little too obsessed with this specific pencil of mine. But yeah, I just wanted to sketch out sort of some line art and then use these paint markers over it just to see how that process would go. Overall, it was just a lot of fun. It honestly is very satisfying to just go over all of those lines and color things in. It sort of feels like a coloring page, but without those like harsh, like dark black lines around everything, which I usually don't mind. I'm a pretty big fan of a coloring book style because, I mean, if you didn't know that, it should be obvious because I have a coloring book out. If you didn't know, that's the thing that I do. And I really like that coloring book style, but this lineless style that comes with Posca Paint Pens is just, it's fantastic. I honestly had a lot of fun with it. It's very unusual from what I normally do. So it was really fun making this piece. Also, while I was working on it, I really liked this idea. I thought it was cute and then realized I don't really have a skin tone. Like, yeah, I could have used any of these colors for skin tone, but I couldn't figure out what to use. So I just used the white paint pen because it was a slightly different white than the paper. And I thought that made sense, so that's what I went with. And I just went with a basic, you know, blue sky, white clouds, some green grass, but I wanted to make it look like one of those kid pictures where you only sort of color in part of the sky and you only color in part of the grass. You don't really finish the piece. So that was just the idea I went with because I thought it'd be sort of goofy and funny and reminded me of some childhood art that I had done. And of course I had to add some stippling in because I'm an adult now, so it had to look more intentional and not like I was being lazy. Because I definitely wasn't being lazy. Or maybe I was. But I don't know, I think it still turned out cool. It's just sort of a cute, goofy little drawing. And my favorite part of this, of course, is whoever is supposedly mooning us with their, you know, undies. I had to make the undies say something, and what better to have them say than Posca to highlight these paint pens? It's basically just some advertising, right? So at least that was my thought on it. I thought it was sort of cute and goofy, and I like some cute, goofy drawings sometimes. I think it's silly and funny, and yeah, I was a big fan of it. I also happen to have enough of the colors to sort of have the colors of their logo, or at least it's similar with the red, blue, green, yellow theme-ish. And I just thought it turned out kind of cute. So I really like this one. It was a lot of fun. I'm excited to do more illustrations in this, sort of sketching things out and then covering them with paint pens. And the last one I want to do was a full piece, and I want to do some sort of landscape thing, but, you know, this channel is called Shenanigans for a reason. It can't just be a basic landscape. Oh, no. If you want that, go check out Bob Ross. He's very relaxing and calming and does beautiful landscapes. I highly recommend him. But this is not one of those landscapes. It's a little bit weirder. And while I was working on this piece, I've sort of had this, I wouldn't call it an obsession, but sort of an interest, I suppose, in the Loch Ness Monster. Don't know why, just been on my mind, and I thought doing a nice piece with Nessie would be just a lot of fun. So that's what I wanted to do, was just Nessie in a pond with this little sky outline behind him. And as I'm coloring it in and realizing that there's this big blue line straight across in my attempt to make this even, yeah, Nessie's going to end up covering that. Or at least he's going to try. And it's not going to be successful. So I have learned that with these paint pens, that some of the lighter colors just don't go over opaque over the darker colors. Or at least that was my experience with this piece. Maybe it's different on others. Maybe it was the paper. Maybe it's just the specific colors I used, or maybe I didn't have enough layers. So I won't knock the pens completely for it, but I thought it would be more opaque than it was, and it was a little disappointing because these paint pens are something that I've seen all over the internet and trending and stuff. I mean, I know I'm kind of behind on this trend, but still, I expected a little more than I got. Honestly, of all of the pieces that I've worked on, this is the third and final one I worked on. The third one's not my favorite. It's fine. It's cute, but some of the paint there was a lot of it, so it just sort of like pilled up on the paper and looked sort of scratchy and a little messy and not that flat style I was going for, so that was sort of disappointing, but I'm still learning with these paint markers. Maybe I'll get better after some time. We will see. I'm still excited to continue using them and seeing how I can get them to work, but yeah, this piece was not one that impressed me too much, so if it doesn't impress you, it's okay. We have the same thoughts on it. If it does impress you, thank you. Please tell me if it impressed you to feed my ego, because it's hurting a little bit after this piece. But I guess it's sort of what being an art YouTuber is, right? Sometimes you just share awful artwork that you've made with the entire world, because that's not terrifying at all. Yep. So that's pretty much the end of this. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks so much for watching. If you have any comments or thoughts, leave them in the comments down below. Of course, all products will be linked down below, as always. And I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Thanks so much for watching my video. It means a lot to me. Make sure you stay tuned to the very end, because just for you guys, I have a little blooper reel. Something I found while I was editing, and well, I think it's goofy, and I think you guys would like it too. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, guys. See you in the next one. Bye!
Bees, 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 bees. Bees, 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 bees,
Do you want to see more shenanigans? Then make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any of my future videos. Oh, you want to see more shenanigans like right now? Then check out these suggestions on your screen or head on over to my Instagram. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Check back soon for some more shenanigans. Bye!